Quiet, everyone. It's time for the roll. Quiet roll call. Like the teacher in the front, that's with a book. I'm about to call your name out before y'all look. Miss Pam in the big D, starting with you. Then we go down south to the southern crew. Mama Margaret, Alicia, how y'all be? From the bottom to the top, I'm calling LSC. Caleb, Josiah, and Sasha too. Can't forget about Kia just because she knew. Miss Meech, Lynn K, and Lady BC. Janice, Miss Mary, and the Johnson family. Know y'all ready to come see our show? I got 6 more names that's on the road. Marilyn Cuz and Miss I Am. We just so glad you're part of the fam. And life in between, that's who we be. About to end this road with the final 3. As you watch our story, just have some fun. Corbin, Melba B, and the exquisite one.
Hey guys, if you like our channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and click that notification bell so you do not miss an upload. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I've been promising the hurricane preparedness video, and finally I'm getting around to doing it. Tomorrow, June 1st, is the first day of hurricane season, and it will end November the 30th. So hurricane season for, I'm speaking from the Florida standpoint, is long, but it's for all, areas that can be affected, because as you know, throughout the years, hurricanes have, they were all the way up the Atlantic, where a lot of places had never experienced having hurricanes. So video will be kind of short of like the basic things you would need for a hurricane preparedness kit. For the longest, a lot of stuff that I would keep, I would have it inside of like these bags from, I think I got these from Dollar Tree. I would use those, as well as like leftover bags that sheets came in. This is just something that was like convenient. These are like the vacuum sealed ones, so that it was like, could be not necessarily waterproof, but stored safely without any problems. But of course they're predicting, which they predict every year, that it'll be a busier than normal season, hurricane season. But I know they are saying that it's supposed to be more active on the Atlantic side of things. We live in the Gulf Coast of Florida. We're literally like 5 to 10 minutes away from the Alabama line. And, of course, right by the Gulf of Mexico. This year, Michael wanted to decide to get our hurricane kit and put it in a couple different places, because it used to just be in the closet. And he's just like, if the lights go out, you've got to fumble to try to, get into the closet. So we need to put it somewhere that's like easily accessible, that, we can get to it when the lights go out. So we have this little just decorative gold ottoman that sits under one of the console tables in the living room. But it was like $19 from Walmart online. They have been sold out. I was trying to get a second one for this purpose and just to match, but they've been out. But they have the silver in stock. But it has a hard top on it, and it's collapsible, but it's all secure. So this is what our living room kit will go in, and anything left over, we'll probably put that in our bedroom. If you have never experienced a hurricane, you're truly blessed. My last hurricane that I experienced was Hurricane Ivan, and I really wasn't even like experienced it as far as they were saying get out and evacuate, and I evacuated. But when we got back, me and Michael were not even together, didn't know him. This was back in 2004. We left and went to Oklahoma. I'm trying to think. Yeah, we went to Oklahoma to his dad's house. But when we got back, we were out of power for over a week. The apartment complex that we lived in, like our building was the only one left standing. All the rest of them were collapsed, roofs torn off, everything. But of course we had to find somewhere else to live, because they were pretty much condemning the apartment because it was not livable. So it was difficult as far as like, I worked in the medical field, so I still had to go to work once I reported back. he had to work because he worked for the city at the time. We didn't have like the foods that we needed because, hey, we didn't prepare because we were just like, oh, we left town, but we didn't prepare for like once we got back. So it definitely was a shock to see of not really having a whole bunch of food to eat, not having enough water. It was definitely like an eye-opening experience. And before that, the only hurricane that I really could remember was, I want to say it was Hurricane Camille. I was little, and we all went to my dad's church, the community he did to like hunker down or whatever. But that was scary, and I don't want to see anymore. But I know from those experiences, like what I can do to make sure our family, is safe. So one of the most important things, whether you are a homeowner or a renter, I just told people, even if it's hurricane season and you never experienced it, because you'd be like, well, I live in Michigan and that it just don't happen. God can have anything happen anywhere. So it's not going to hurt, because I feel like an emergency kit will prepare you for unknown floods that could be coming to your area where you can't get out or you're snowed in. So these kits can help you not just for hurricane season. But one thing that's super important, I'm not going to show you, we have a laminator. So we laminate a lot of things, especially important documents. And one thing for your hurricane kit, you need to have emergency phone numbers. So I know myself, I can't remember anybody's number. I used to could back in the day before cell phones were like really important, but everybody's number is inside your contacts. But guess what? If you can't access your phone because it's not charged or it died or whatever, you've got to know somebody's phone numbers if you need that. So I've put a list of all of our children, like Michael's aunt, my brother, Red Cross, your sheriff's department or police department, your primary care doctors, or important doctors that you know you may need to get in contact with because of a hurricane potentially, and your pharmacy. So these are informations that you need, and by laminating them, it prevents it from getting wet. You can add to it. You can put your insurance information, like your medical insurance, if that's something you feel like you need to know the number for. We may put like Easter's insurance number because we don't have a physical card, and that number is in our phone. So stuff like that we will. And one other thing that we will be adding, I'll be just writing in, is a list of our medications. Will go on the back half. That way, if we're having to just pick up and go somewhere else, we can tell them like, this is what we're on, or if you had to leave in a hurry, you just never know. The next thing is our homeowner's insurance. It is a good thing to copy. So copy your policy, or have a copy. So right now I just have this front page that has the name of our insurance company, our policy number, and the phone number on how to contact them. On the back side, it shows like all of our like hurricane deductibles. We have like a 2% deductible, which is about like $4,000, I believe, that we have to pay if our home were to have any kind of damage. Everyone needs to always contact your insurance company, which I'll be doing ours tomorrow, to make sure your policy is current. Ours comes straight out of our mortgage, so we don't have to worry about like paying something like separate. It's just all tied into our mortgage payment. So you call them, make sure your thing is current. Ask what your deductible, has anything changed. Ask if you have flood insurance. Our area does not require flood insurance, but I think we're going to look at going ahead and getting it. We checked on it before, and I want to say it might have been like an extra, I don't know, $500 or something to get it for like the year. It wasn't like expensive. They will try to talk you out of it if you're not in a flood zone, but as we've seen, a lot of areas that they never thought they would floods. And that's one thing a lot of people have dispute when it's time for hurricane season. They'll say, oh, that's not from the hurricane, that's from flood. And so like they would do anything, insurance companies, to not pay you what you've been paying on all this time. So you don't want to get stuck. You need to know exactly like what's covered. Let's say if you made some big purchases since you originally got your policy, you need to call and make sure those items are added and they're going to be covered under your policy if that storm or flood or fire or whatever were to happen. And let's say you're renting, because a lot of people rent. Nothing wrong with that. They have renter's insurance. Renter's insurance is actually really reasonable. I looked it up. It's only on average about $12 a month, so way cheaper. Season gets into full effect, to make sure it covers you from hurricanes, floods, fires, and that your stuff is protected, because I've seen so many people in apartments that just thought, well, I rent, I don't need insurance. Some apartment complexes require you to have rental insurance because that covers less on them on like replacing the structure if it's completely damaged. Make sure you have your insurance and stuff all lined up. For those that have chronic illness, I have chronic illness. It used to be a lot worse. Like I was on oxygen for like 2 years. So like anytime storms came, I had to make sure I had enough oxygen tanks on hand. I had to make sure my meds were all up to date. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to get enough warning to tell you that this storm is coming, you know, is going to hit land on this day or whatever. So take that time to go to your pharmacy, get extra medication if you can at all possible, to last you for, you know, if you had to pick up and go and you're not in your local area, or make sure that, you know, whatever pharmacy you use is part of your evacuation plan. So with that being said, evacuation plan. Things you need to know, like most people here in Florida hunker down and they just hang, you know, try to do it, but some people leave. If there's a big enough storm, our family will leave, where we will not stay, period. But you need to have a game plan. Where are you going to go? Because, you know, if you're trying to run from the storm, 9 times out of 10, going up the East Coast, a lot of the storm and like remnants of the storm will follow you. So it may be wise for you to look at family or other options in other areas that's not really affected by hurricanes that you can evacuate to. And if they're telling you a week out, this is what it looks like, probably need to evacuate, go ahead and leave. With that being said, of course, everyone can't afford to leave. And you've seen that with Katrina. A lot of people were poor. They couldn't leave. They didn't have transportation. They had no way of getting out. So that comes into like savings. And not everyone's able to save $500,000. But if that's the case, you got to figure out, like, do I have family that's in wherever, Tennessee? I'm just throwing it out there. If you don't, maybe you have friends, or maybe you start looking to say, okay, they told us a week out, we need to look at an Airbnb. It's always a good thing to try to have like an emergency credit card for situations just like that, that you can either, because rental cars a lot of times shut down, so you need to have reliable transportation that you can try to get yourself and your family out into safety. Plan. Make sure you let your family know, hey, we're leaving. Easter has consultants with her Medicaid waiver program that she's a part of. We have to do an emergency plan, and if for some reason, like when there's something bad happening, whether it's a hurricane, COVID-19, they check in with us to make sure that we're safe. What's your plan? Are y'all leaving? Are you staying? And that's something that you really need to have and, you know, focus on. We have family all over, but thank God we're in a financial situation to where if we have to leave and stay in a hotel somewhere, we can financially do that, or stay at an Airbnb, because it's hard when you have a child with a disability to just be in everyone's house like that, because everyone's house may not be accessible, you know, to the needs of her. So we have to take that into consideration. So those people that you put on your important phone number list, those are the people you need to reach out and say, hey, look, we're leaving, we're going to Tennessee, and we'll come back in about a week or whatever. You know, just let someone know so people aren't looking for you. I know our sheriff's department here, when hurricanes evacuations take place and people decide that they want to leave, there's a number you can call and they will have a officer patrol your neighborhood to make sure that your home is safe and nothing is, you know, suspicious. And if you're close with any of your neighbors, which we really aren't, you can definitely let your neighbors know, like, hey, we're leaving, can you just keep an eye out since you guys are staying, blah blah blah. Is a lot of people in Florida already have like hurricane shutters. We do not have hurricane shutters in our house. We've actually never even researched how much they cost. Most people just do plywood and just board up their windows. So one thing that we will be purchasing, because it's tax-free on certain items between now and June the 4th, we need to try to stock up on plywood. So it's in the garage. In that case, it's already, you know, we have it, you can already have it measured. Home Depot and Lowe's will cut the wood and plywood and stuff for you for free. So you can already have those measurements, and then you can just mark your plywood, you know, front window, so you can easily grab it really quick, put it on, and do what you have to do to make sure that, you know, no debris is getting in. A different thing also to consider if the storm is coming, remove all outside, like patio furniture, anything that can fly away and break a window. You need to make sure that is secured down or in your garage, out of the way. If you have limbs that are, you know, loose or questionable that could be hanging anywhere near your house, try to get those cut down if at all possible before the storm itself comes. So the next thing, I'm going to show you some of the items that we have for our kit. I just got this gallon jug out. This is Michael's distilled water. We have to make sure we have distilled water on hand because he has a CPAP machine that he requires when he is sleeping. So, but the rule of thumb is to have a gallon of water per person that will last you for 3 to 7 days. So that is something you need to consider, that those gallons of water, or however many you're going to do them, is stored somewhere that's easily accessible for that time frame. But we have a lot of bottled water, but we will be trying to stock up on some gallon jugs. A lot of stuff, you know, in stores are still kind of scarce because of the COVID. Okay, so the next things that you need to stock up for hurricane/COVID would be canned goods. I just grabbed a few things out of the pantry, like canned soup, tuna, like canned beans, stuff like that, that you really do not need electricity to eat. And one thing about when it comes to electricity, a lot of people do get generators that can maybe control like little induction burners or certain little items. But we are looking at purchasing a home generator system. I'll try to look who came to join us, y'all.
Welcome back to our channel. I'm sure y'all got that. Y'all see my wife got a stop and she got our groceries all out for, you know, y'all don't eat this but me. Don't nobody eat
but I'm just showing them canned goods.
Y'all believe that? This is just...
I done been recording for about 7 minutes.
Oh, okay.
And he just gonna interrupt everything. But tell them about
it. But those that are looking new, these are real. I know she don't talk about much about this because I know our pullers it a lot, but that's a whole different film we have to make. Yeah, as far as the generator, we're looking at Generac. I'm sure she probably told you, but kind of like my dad. I look just like my dad. And we're looking at a 22,000. I want the whole house. You can get them smaller.
When you say 22,000 watts.
To make sure that the whole house is done. You can get them smaller. You can get as low as 3,000 or 4,500. You can get them really small to where you can just have your refrigerator. Of course, a lot of you guys already know that. And
well, a lot of people may not.
Okay, good. Yeah. My wife said I take for granted a lot of things. I'm sorry. So for those that, if you decide to get a generator, I think it's a wise investment on one part for your safety and family, for not only that, but also comfort during times when you have outages within your home. And number two, it will help to increase the value of your home during resale. Mm-hmm. You know, to already have a home generator installed, it's there. Once it's there, it's there. Yeah. Unless you decide yourself to take it with you where you're going. But if you leave it there and you want to put it as far as the resale of your home, it does increase the value of it. Of course, they go on gas, or you can do it straight electric. We're going to do both because some items in our home are through gas, but we could use it to run the entire house from the electrical side with gas going through it. Yeah. It's expensive, but it's one of those investments that you look at in the long term, and everybody looks at it differently. Some people say, well, if I come through and I get one, how often during the year am I actually going to use it? Is it outweighing the cost over 6, 7, 8, 9 years? Okay, on average, I might have my lights turned off depending on where you live at. Because if you live where my sister lives and you live in my sister's house, you might have your lights turned off probably about 4 or 5 times a month. Because you get the bill paid a little bit and you're supposed to pay it again on the next.
I'm just so shade.
Don't do that.
Some people business how like that.
My sister hollering.
But you know, like, but
the size that we're speaking of, I heard my wife say earlier, it is about $5K to purchase just the generator only. That's if you can go into Home Depot or Lowe's, get him and say, hey, I'm taking this home with me. Once you get it home, you still have to find someone, preferably, you need to find someone. Let me be specific. Please, I'm by no means a generator expert, but you do need to find someone that's certified in electrical and dealing with gas. You don't want to get your Uncle Johnny's friend that just got out and he was, you know, he been working on washing machines in prison, and all of a sudden he coming out trying to hook your stuff up.
And
that's really dangerous.
On average, like how much? I know it's $5,000 minimum for the unit.
For the biggest unit for a home.
How much would you estimate it's going to cost between the unit and getting someone to install it?
I would say you could find a certified electrician that actually knows what they're doing with that, and probably can, just from the electrical part of it, probably spend about $1,000. And this way you're safe, you got your money guaranteed, your service guaranteed. And the gas person, you can probably spend anywhere from $500 to $800.
So here's a couple things that we're gonna have in our kit. Antibacterial soap, some type of wipes, just in case like you don't have toilet tissue, you can have baby wipes. You can wipe off with some baby wipes. Of course, it's not a bath, but if you know you're stuck, you don't have electricity, these are certain things. You can wipe your hands, of course, with them. So anytime we go to the store, I stock up more face masks. Of course, that's can be for COVID and part of your first aid kit, because you don't know what could be, if something like there's something caught on fire close to your house that you need to try to cover up with a mask. That's always just good to have. You need to have a first aid kit. Your first aid kit could be advanced or simple. But these are certain things that I've been getting just because of the COVID, and we can use also cough drops to have those. It's good to have some type of fever reducer in your arsenal of stuff. Gloves, so I have this just a little pack of nitrile gloves that will go inside of the box. A couple other things, here in the South, the mosquitoes seem to be, they're bad already, and they get worse. And if you have somewhere that's standing water because something flooded, chances are you're going to get beat up. So you need to get some type of anti-itch hydrocortisone cream. Thing is, you need to get some type of clock radio system or a weather radio that runs on batteries, because if the lights are out, you can't see what's going on the news if the news station is still available. So at least if you had some type of radio, you can find a weather station, or you can get a hurricane radio. One more thing that is really important to have is a charger. This one, of course, we plug up and charge you know, by electricity, but we will be purchasing a battery powered and solar powered phone charger. So this will charge your phone or your iPads, whatever. It has 3 USB ports, so this is good to charge up prior to, but make sure you have some type of disinfectant. We have tons of cans of Lysols. I say tons. We have probably like 6 cans available in our house. I will be picking up more because when we travel anyway, we always have Lysol to like spray hotel stuff down and stuff like that. So it's not gonna not get used. Stock up on flashlights. The last hurricane that was coming this way, I can't remember, was it Hurricane Michael, I think, was gonna come this way. So the stores are like limited. So I just got these little ones from Dollar Tree. But of course, right now you probably can still find them. So go ahead and grab bigger ones if you can find them. So I have those. And for those, make sure you have batteries. I have the little cheap sunbeam batteries that I had from like last year's hurricane kit from Dollar Tree and the Dollar General. I don't knock it. If that's what you can afford, then that's what you can afford. But it's not going to last you but a couple hours, trust me. So I don't think that's worth it. So we just took the time to go to Sam's and get the Duracell or get Energizer. We have tons of these candles that I get these from Dollar Tree. They're unscented. I did look them up online. I can't remember. I want to say these may be like a 20-hour burn. Normally I just get these lighters for candles, for grills. One thing, we do have charcoal. I don't have that right here. It's outside. Because if you lose electricity and you need to try to cook the meats that are in your refrigerator before it goes too bad, you could always grill. I got a bunch of these little tea light candles from Dollar Tree, and one of the things I've always read that they said that to get unscented candles, because if you're stuck in your house for, you know, a week with no electricity, food's starting to go bad, the smell, like you don't want to mix that smell with like a fruity candle. So they always say because you don't have a lot of good circulation and it could be other things, it's just good to get unscented candles. Michael mentioned that we needed to have matches. Never thought about matches because I always picked up these things, but he was like, just in case, because what ends up happening, I would like have like 10 of these, and over time I would just pull them out of the hurricane kit to use them around the house, and I shouldn't. So I did find a box. You can find a box of matches. It's 32 in each box, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 box for $1 from Dollar Tree. You have some type of antibacterial wipes to clean things down. Make sure you have your paper towels and your tissue on hand, and have your kit in either a bin or something that's easily accessible to where if you have to leave, this stuff can come with you. Because you never know where you're going. Like I said, if it's gonna travel there, remnants of it, you just don't know. So it's just better to have it in your car, because who knows, you're on the highway, you know, it's bumper to bumper. You hope you don't run out of gas, but you may need to be on the side of the road. I remember leaving Florida for Hurricane Ivan. It was like bumper to bumper. There was no hotels. We had to literally like just sleep at like a rest stop. And, you know, you didn't have restaurants that you could try to eat at, so you need to make sure you have some type of snacks readily available. Another thing is, if you do have like a regular generator and not like a home generator, make sure you have gas for that generator. So I suggest you get containers of gas. That could be for your generator as well as your car. But normally you have enough time to prepare before that storm hits, if you're following it properly, to make sure your car is filled up. You need to make sure you get cash out, because if there's no electricity, you're not going to have the use of your debit cards and credit cards at a store. Some suggest getting rolls of quarters, maybe like $20, $30 worth of quarters, because a lot of those ice machines take quarters, or is can opener, like a manual can opener. You need to make sure you have a good one on hand, or make sure you start to get tops that have the pop top, because you will not have access to a electric can opener. Or if you do have pets, I don't have pets, so it's hard for me to say what you would need. So on your emergency list, you need to have the name of your vet. You need to make sure your animal has enough pet food. You know, you make sure you account for water for your animal, just like you're accounting for water for your family. So that is something that they would need. Find out if your evacuation plan is at someone's house. Are they okay with you bringing your pet? Or if you're going to go to an Airbnb or a hotel, you need to look at lists of places that are pet friendly, because not all hotels will allow you to bring your animal. And unfortunately, a lot of animals get left behind because of those reasons. They end up getting injured or lost. Families can't find them, and then that means the, you know, pet society, like Humane Society, are overwhelmed with all of these pets that have been abandoned or lost due to the storm. But I hope this video helped you guys. I apologize that it is long, but I wanted to make sure we could try to inform you guys as much as possible on how we are doing over here to prepare for hurricane season. I don't want to think about it, but I'd rather be prepared than not prepared, because we're still dealing with so much from the COVID-19 of stocking up on stuff just in case, that now we have to think about hurricane season on top of what we're already having to deal with. But that's life. You just have to be prepared and do what you got to do.